Hey everyone, apologies for the setup in today's video. I'm filming from my garage because it's the only place that I could find peace in my house right now. I wanted to get on here and make this video about my thoughts on manifesting, because the whole essence of the law of attraction, law of assumption, however you choose to refer to it, your thoughts create. So people often forget that you make the rules of manifesting. So I think it's important for us as coaches, as people who talk about the law of attraction, to disclose what our beliefs are and why we teach manifesting the way that we do, so that you as the viewer can choose if your beliefs align with the practices that we teach. Because a lot of us fall into the trap, myself included, where when we go, when we binge watch videos about law of attraction and a coach says something that's different from the way that we've been practicing law of attraction, we could fall into that trap where we're like, oh my God, have I been doing it wrong? But you make the rules of how manifesting works for you. So the way that I teach manifesting, I believe in everyone is you pushed out. I believe in parallel realities. So I believe that you are the creator of your reality. So no one in your reality has free will besides you. And I've said this in another video. The reason why I have the beliefs I do about manifesting is because I think that there are a lot of rules in the manifesting community. And to me, the idea that manifesting is conditional in the sense that you can only get what you want if you do this thing, and some things can manifest but other things can't. When you apply circumstances, to me, that just doesn't make sense personally. It completely contradicts the law. I personally believe that we chose to come here and live this experience through our consciousness, because consciousness is oneness. Consciousness is all loving. It doesn't determine right from wrong. We judge that in our human minds. We decide what's right, what's wrong, what we see as good, what we see as bad. I believe that we chose to live the human experience, to experience duality. So we go through these life events to experience contrast, so we can decide what feels good to us, what doesn't, what we want, what we don't want. And then when we awaken to that and we realize that we can have whatever we want, you almost view the world as like your catalog. So once you go through these different experiences and it helps you gain clarity about what it is that you want, you're selecting an experience for you to live out in the human existence. Because to me, that's just the only way that life makes sense. Why wouldn't we be here if we couldn't have everything that we ever wanted? And the idea is so incomprehensible to the human mind that people could just get whatever they want, because that's not what we've known to be true based on our human experiences. So it doesn't make sense logically for the mind to grasp. But just because we can't imagine a world of having everything that we want, just because you can't imagine something to be true, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Because think about how many new experiences we go through in life where we couldn't self-sabotage because we didn't have this plague of past experiences telling us that we couldn't have that new experience, because to our knowledge, we didn't know that it existed. So we didn't have these conflicting beliefs. It was just able to manifest. And what I notice a lot of other people doing, I've done this before. I think we all fall victim to it. I have a friend who loves to do this, so I'm going to put him on blast, but it's okay because I'm going to tell him I'm mentioning him in this video. I won't say his name, but he's going to know that it's him. A lot of us end up getting ourselves into that trap where we go down the existential rabbit hole when we're learning about manifesting. And we kind of like, we have this internal debate with ourselves because, again, the law of attraction does not make sense logically because the mind can only comprehend what's familiar to it. So no law of attraction teacher can ever tell you for fact how the law works. We can say, we have the evidence based on our own personal experiences. That's why we have the belief of how the law of attraction works, and that's why we teach it the way that we teach it. But we can't give your mind practical and factual, logical evidence. We can only say, apply the practices and then discover the evidence in your own life. So when I was reframing my beliefs, I would fall into that trap because you're trying to understand law of attraction in your own conditioned thinking. So I would say, oh, well, if I have this belief, then how would this be true? And this and this. That's what going down the existential rabbit hole is. And essentially, every time we're doing that, every time we're trying to understand logically the law of attraction, like, yes, we want to educate ourselves on it so that we can have a consistent experience with it and we know how to apply the practices in our own life. But the more that we try to understand, eventually your mind's just going to give and you're not going to have an answer for everything. And you need to make peace with that because essentially all we're doing, the mind is ever questioning. And every time we're feeding this internal dialogue and going down that rabbit hole, we're not, it becomes less about trying to justify why it works and we're justifying why it can't work for us. So if you follow Abraham Hicks, she says this in all her seminars. Every time somebody from her audience will come up on stage and ask a question and they say, yeah, well, I don't believe it could work for me because of this thing and this thing. She'll say, look at you arguing for your limitations. And I love the way that she puts it because that's all we're doing. Instead of just applying the practices into our own life, we're not justifying why it'll work for us. We're justifying why it can't. So no law of attraction teacher, myself included, we're not all knowing. So if you come across a video from a law of attraction coach that differs from your beliefs and the way that you've been applying law of attraction in your life has been working for you and it feels good, then keep doing that because I think a lot of us end up forgetting that. And then we give our power to other people's beliefs instead of acknowledging you're the creator of your reality, you're the star of the show, so you get to decide how to make the rules work for you. And even if law of attraction isn't something that you practice necessarily, my whole belief is just, why wouldn't you be here to do the things that you love and to have a life that feels good for you? So I'm sorry this video was kind of all over the place. I was just having this internal dialogue in my head and I wanted to get it on camera while these thoughts were fresh in my mind. So I don't know if this video was helpful for you, but I hope you learned something. I hope the one thing that you took out of this video is to just acknowledge that you don't need to adopt anybody else's way of thinking besides your own because it's your life, so you make the rules. So I'll see you guys in my next one.